Hello and welcome to the first video for Orange Dragon Gaming. My name is Evan. I'll be walking everybody through a deck that I've played to some amount of success recently. It's called Blacephalon GX, or some people call it Fire Clowns or Blowns, or there's like 13 other names for it. We're not going to get into that at this point in time. The purpose of the deck is to run roughshod through your opponents by utilizing Blacephalon GX as your main attacker. Being a basic Pokemon, it's very easy to go and find and lay down right away. You can get them going very quickly. 3 attacks. First attack, Bursting Burn for 1 fire energy, leaving your opponent's active Pokemon burned and confused. Can be very good for helping your numbers later in the game, because your second attack, Mind Blown, does 50 times. But there's 50 times of putting any amount of fire energy attached to this Pokemon into the Lost Zone. Kind of like a discard pile, but it's removed from play so you can't access it again. So this attack does 50 damage for each card put in the Lost Zone. So let's say you have 6 fire energies and you discard 3, or you remove 3 of them into the Lost Zone. You're going to deal 150 damage. Pretty strong attack. Now a GX attack, this bottom one right here with the extra effect on it, you can use 1 GX attack in a game. 1. That's it, no more. 1. That's all you get. The purpose of the GX attack is they are so powerful that you only are allowed 1 in a game, because they do so many different things. This one, for instance, you just flat out discard 1 of your prize cards, which makes it easier to win the game. If it's an energy card, you get to attach it to one of your Pokemon. So right out of the gate, you're already up 1 prize card on your opponent. Pretty powerful. Now, of course, getting energy, and lots of energy repeatedly, is the trick in this deck. So how do we do that? Well, we start with Poipole. Poipole being the basic that it is, its attack doesn't really do us a whole lot. It poisons, okay. We do possess the capability of technically using this knockout reviver attack. It's never come up in all the games that I've played. So I've actually played both Poipoles in this deck. So there's this one, which lets you look at your prize cards. I prefer the poison one myself, just because you're more likely to affect the outcome of a game by poison damage than you are by looking at your own prizes. Both effects can be good. I've never had to use either. Poipole evolves into Naganadel. So it's stage 1, evolves from Poipole, boost of HP, better attack. The ability is where it's at here. Once during your turn before you attack, you can attach a basic energy card from the discard pile to this Pokemon. For 3 energy, this symbol means any color. You do 80 damage. Strong, solid attack. Knocks out plenty of stuff that's psychic weak that has less than 160 HP. But if you have 3 prize cards remaining, does 80 more damage. With certain damage modifying cards, you're talking about knocking out Pokemon GX, which give up 2 prizes, as stated down here in the Pokemon GX rule. When your Pokemon GX is knocked out, your opponent takes 2 prize cards. So, some serious power. The Blacephalon decks don't run a lot of situational cards. It's straightforward. Here's what I'm doing. I'm loading up fire energies on all these Naganadels. Get 2 of them on a Blacephalon and just go. And I'm just going to try to take my 6 prize cards before you get a chance to take yours. So we have a couple of different ways to accelerate this process. Let Loose Marshadow, very popular, has an ability called Let Loose. When you play this Pokemon from your hand on your bench, you may have each player shuffle their hand in their deck and draw 4 cards. This does 2 things for us. First, it extends our turn. We can play it down, shuffle, draw 4 new cards, and see what we get from there. The other thing it does is it disrupts our opponent. A lot of decks rely on attacks that search cards out, put them in their hand, play that down, you wipe that attack out. Pretty solid. So, that's one way to do it. Another way to get rolling is Tapu Lele GX. It's a staple. It's in darn near every single deck. Has the ability Wonder Tag. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, You may search your deck for a supporter card, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. Supporter cards include the ever-powerful Cynthia. Shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 6 cards. Fantastic. It's key about supporters, 1 a turn. It's bit me in the butt at least once. That I've told everybody about. Guzma is another super popular supporter. It's in every single deck. You switch your opponent's Pokemon with 1 on their bench, and then you switch your Pokemon with 1 on your bench. It comes in handy. I've opted to play 2 copies of the card Hala, which shuffles your hand in your deck. If you've used your GX attack, you draw 7 cards. If not, you draw 4. Because our GX attack only costs 1 fire energy, we can do that if we go second. We can do that if we go first and it's our second turn in the game. We can do that right away. So this card becomes very powerful very quickly. You get 1 more card than a Cynthia. But because Cynthia is always going to get us 6 cards and we're not always going to use that GX attack right away, this is still a superior draw supporter. This card has been kind of in and out of the deck for other reasons. Sophocles, discard 2 cards from your hand if you do draw 4 cards. We don't mind discarding cards because we would like to get rid of these fire energies. Throw them in the discard pile. Bring them back with Charging Up from the Naganadel, which will allow you to attach the basic energy once a turn from your discard pile to that Pokemon. It becomes very powerful. So we have a couple of other interesting cards in here. Beast Energy Prism Star for 1. Prism Stars are very powerful cards as well, kind of like GX attacks. You can't have more than 1 Prism Star card with the same name in the deck. If it gets discarded, it goes to the Lost Zone instead. Because they're so powerful, they have to go away and be removed from the game. You only get it once. So, this card provides 1 energy. While this card's attached to an Ultra Beast, which Blacephalon is an Ultra Beast, Poipole is an Ultra Beast, and Naganadel all Ultra Beasts. Marshadow is not. Tapu Lele GX is not. It provides every type of energy, but only 1 at a time. So let's say you have 1 fire energy already on a Blacephalon and you don't draw another one. You can slap this beast energy down. That counts as your fire energy. The attacks of this Ultra Beast, this card is attached to do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon before weakness and resistance. So now you're talking about a base damage with Mind Blown of 50 plus 50 plus 50 for each fire energy you send to the Lost Zone, plus 30 from the beast energy. Very powerful card. We have another damage modifying card in the deck. It's a trainer card. It's called the Pokemon Tool. You attach it to one of your Pokemon. So the attacks that you do 30 more damage to Pokemon GX or EX, active Pokemon. EX and GX are very similar. GX are the Sun and Moon On version of Pokemon EX. So 30 more damage. So you're talking between those 2 cards, you can be doing an extra 60 damage to the right type of Pokemon every single turn. Very strong. Very powerful. We have a lot of search in this deck, meaning that we have a lot of ways to find what we want in the deck, be it Pokemon. Actually, it's all just Pokemon in this particular deck. So, with Ultra Space, it's a stadium card, so either player can use it. Once during each player's turn, you can search your deck for an Ultra Beast, put it in your hand, you have to reveal. So anytime you search your deck for a specific type of card, you reveal it to your opponent to prove what you got, and then you put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. So that's one thing we have to search. Mysterious Treasure, you discard a card from your hand. Again, we don't mind discarding in this deck. You get to search your deck for a Psychic or Dragon type Pokemon, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. So that Mysterious Treasure allows us to enable search for Marshadow, Poipole, Naganadel, Tapu Lele GX. Powerful card. Ultra Ball is pretty similar to Mysterious Treasure. You discard 2 cards from your hand. You have to discard 2 cards from your hand. Search your deck for Pokemon, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. So no restrictions. I can grab any Pokemon. I can grab Blacephalon. I can grab Tapu Lele. I can grab Naganadel. I can grab Poipole. I can grab Marshadow. Good stuff. Now, the other stadium we play in this deck is also a Prism Star card, kind of like that Beast Energy. It's called Heat Factory. Once during each player's turn, that player may discard a Fire Energy from their hand. If they do, they draw 3 cards. But that's not even the best part about this stadium card. Normally, when you have a stadium card, it can be affected by a card called Field Blower, which removes tools and stadium cards from the field depending on what the player wants to remove. This card is immune to that effect. Whenever any player plays an item or supporter card from their hand, prevent all effects of that card done to this stadium card. So it can target it down with that Field Blower, but they're not going to be successful. It won't get removed. So you can hopefully get 2, 3, 4 uses out of that before it's gone. The other couple of cards in the deck, besides the massive amount of fire energy, we have 15 fire energy in the deck, are Beast Ring, which is another great Ultra Beast card. You can only play this card if your opponent has 3 or 4 prize cards remaining. That's the key there. This card is immensely powerful. Even though you only get to use it in this situation here, when your opponent has 3 or 4 prizes remaining, you get to search your deck for 2 basic energy cards and attach them to one of your Ultra Beasts. You can win games solely on hitting 3 of those during the turn or 2 that is active. Because you can load up your Blacephalons. You can load up a Blacephalon on the bench. You already have one in the active, hopefully loaded up. You can then proceed to play the other ones on your Noggin Nadals. So that way you can just sit there and not worry. It makes everything so much easier. And then in a pinch, let's say something gets knocked out and you don't draw an energy, but you have plenty on your Noggin Nadals, you can use Energy Switch. It lets you move a basic energy, which all those fire energies are, from one of your Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon. Pretty cool stuff. That being said, I'm going to update the deck real quick. So what we do is we hit the 3 cards here, go to Deck Manager. Oh, we're already in there. But then we can click that button. And breaks it down into Pokemon, Trainers, and Energy. I want to modify the Trainers. So, Sophocles, all good. I think there's a card that's better suited for the current game. Erica's Hospitality. You can only play this card if you have 4 or fewer other cards in your hand. So your hand can't then be any bigger than 5, including Erica's Hospitality. You get to draw a card for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play. So no shuffle. So you could already have a 4 or 5 card hand with including Erica. Play it down. Draw 6 more cards potentially. We're gonna slap those in there. I called this one Blacephalon Choice Band because it has choice bands in it. Not every version of the deck plays it. Alright, that being said, you can take a look. I have plenty of other decks built online. That one isn't complete yet. I still have to do I have to obtain a couple cards to put in there. But let's just say we want to show what the deck is capable of. So we'll play one quick one against the computer and I'll let y'all go. So each game of Pokemon starts with a coin flip generally, but because we're playing against the computer, it skips that step for whatever reason. So my opponent had no basic Pokemon and I will get to take a mulligan they will take a mulligan after our setup. So we unfortunately start Tapu Lele, which means we don't get to use its awesome ability. Because you have to play it down to the bench during your turn. You don't get to start with it and use its ability. So my opponent's playing some sort of metal deck, which is advantageous to me because most metal Pokemon are weak to fire. But because my opponent had no basic Pokemon, I get to draw an extra card. So every turn starts with a card being drawn. You can play down a Pokemon, attach 1 energy. You can actually play down as many Pokemon as you have available spots on the bench, or Pokemon that are allowed to evolve, which I will get to when I get a Poipole onto the board. So, I play Mysterious Treasure, I have to discard a card. In this particular case, I'm going to choose to discard the Fire Energy. If they look through my deck, what Pokemon Online does is it brings all the cards that are valid for your search to the front, so it's easier. But you can go through the rest of the contents of your deck to see what's there and what's not. So it looks like I didn't prize anything too important. That's the term we use. Is there 6 cards? You don't know what they are until you take them. So I'm going to put the Poipole down on the board. And we're done for now. I don't have a need to play this Guzma to switch. Just not going to accomplish a whole lot right now because I can't attack anyway. So we will pass our turn. Opponent has attached a metal energy to their active Heatran and played Shauna. So supporter from the XY block. There was a time we were forced to play it, unfortunately. Okay, so now still don't have a lot going on here. But what I'm going to do is attach the energy. I'm going to Guzma up with Skarmory. Now it has 100 HP, but it's weak to lightning. So that means I had to discard both of those in order to knock it out. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to use Burst GX. So this card would get discarded. Oh, good grief. So if that was an energy, I would have gotten to attach it. But instead it gets discarded, and because it's a Prism Star card, it goes to the Lost Zone instead. So I don't get to use that this game at all. Kind of a bummer. For this turn, I think we just attach to the plug there. I think we get a cheap knockout. Don't discard the Beast Energy. Excuse me. You do not discard the Beast Energy unless it is absolutely vital to win the game. Because you can't get it back because it's a Prism Star card. I shouldn't say discard. It goes to the Lost Zone. See now, in the Lost Zone, this would be my opponent's, this would be my Lost Zone. Got all that going on. I'm going to attach the Choice Band to get it out of my hand, because I'm going to use the Marshadows Let Loose to try to break out of this dead hand. Okay, that's better. That's better. I'm going to play one of those Blacephalons down, and then use the Cynthia supporter card. We will evolve. So in order to evolve Pokemon, first it has to be able to evolve. Secondly, it has to have been in play for at least one turn. I'm going to use its ability to draw that fire energy out of the discard pile. Going to attach to this Blacephalon so I can attack with it again. I'll use its Mind Blown attack. Using that energy. Whack it stupid. It is knocked out. Opponent just attached. So here, what I want to do here is I'm going to discard Fire Energy in the Cynthia, because I'm going to want to play that Hollow, which is going to give me one more card than that Cynthia was going to. Plus it gets rid of stuff out of my hand, which then gets it out of my deck. So it makes all my preceding turns a little bit better. I can use this Ultra Ball to further discard more fire energies. I don't really need to grab anything right now, so I'll just grab a Blacephalon just to get it out of the deck. I already have the Naganadel for next turn to evolve into. We're just charging up. We'll attach as well from the hand. We'll use Mind Blown. And we will score a knockout. And this is how Blacephalon works ideally. It is just every single turn I'm knocking something out. I am able to keep up my energy stream. I am able to just keep going at you. And hopefully there's nothing you can do about it. So we attach from hand. We'll use charging up. Use it again. And unfortunately now I'm out of fire energy in the discard pile, which is a little bit of a bummer. Because it is so much fun. Ooh, that was almost bad. It's so much fun to end the game with like, mind blown for like 1,000 damage, which is completely doable. Unfortunately, looks like I am tapped out of damage that I can do. I have no way to draw more cards. So, just because we can, because it'll be my last prize anyway, we'll just annihilate my opponent. Now, I don't expect to ever run into that in a tournament, what I would call themedeck.metal, but that gives you a brief overview of what the Pokemon trading card game is. Hope you enjoyed it. I will get better at making these videos. I know that my eye contact with the camera was off and that I was making hand motions, but all you were seeing was this, and I keep looking over at myself in the camera. I'm gonna have to learn a couple things about this whole video creation. But anyway, hope you enjoyed. Hopefully I can make some more stuff that helps everybody learn the game a little bit, and maybe even teach myself a thing or two. Until then, Orange Dragon Gaming signing off.